Get locked in and stay locked in. This is the LJeh Show.
Don't start talking like a Republican.
And you ain't black. And you ain't black.
What's up, everybody? What's going on? I decided to go ahead and get started with the show. You know, I probably should be doing some more research and download some more stuff. But you know what? Let's just go ahead and get started and start making the mistakes, right? Welcome to the LJeh Show. The email is theljshow@gmail.com. That is the LJeh Show@gmail.com. Thank you for joining me today. I'll be here with you Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Having a great time. I had a great time in Detroit. Had a great time with my Blexit family there at the Night of Faith. Man, we had such a great time. If you have not been to Night of Faith, you definitely need to go. It is one of the most phenomenal moments you can ever experience as a believer. And so if you don't know me, my name is LJeh. I'm a native of Oklahoma. I was born and raised here. I'm a diehard Sooners fan, Dallas Cowboys fan, Oklahoma City Thunder. Sometimes a Mavericks fan, maybe more now since Luka has been traded. I didn't like Luka. I don't like men that just cry all the time. I don't like that's not what we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be just crying all the time. This gets on my nerves. So now that Luka has been traded, I might start rooting for the Mavericks again, except when they're playing my Thunder, of course. But diehard Sooners fan, diehard Cowboys fan, and also a black Christian conservative. I'm a conservative. I believe those policies and laws are better for the country, and there's proof. There's documents of proof. That's like millions and thousands of documents of proof, right? That proves that the conservative policies are better for the country, for the United States, especially the black people, right? Especially black people. And you know, did you ever heard of something called the Big Switch? The Big Switch. So political strategists, this is from an article that I'm reading. I'm almost done with it. Political strategists propose a different time. Now, this is something that happened back in in the 60s. I'm saying this so I can, get you ready for what I'm about to say about General C.Q. Brown. General C.Q. Brown was fired. I also heard that he resigned because of the change of the administration, but the media is saying he's fired. So what I like to do is I like to use the sources of liberals. I like to use liberal sources so I can talk about what they're saying. I use it, and I also like to use it against them. So welcome to the LJeh Show. All right, so here's something about the big switch, okay? The actual truth that you really don't hear about, right? What we're going to do here on the LJeh Show, we're going to tell the truth, right? And what I don't want to do, I don't want to destroy my witness, okay? That's one thing my pastor said. Whatever you do, you don't want to destroy your witness. And I don't want to destroy my witness. I don't. So at the end of the day, I want you to get saved. Okay, I want you to believe in Jesus Christ and believe that he was crucified, that he died, and he rose, and I want you to believe that he is the Savior of the world. And I don't want to go to heaven by myself. I want you to go with me. So I don't want to destroy my witness. So whatever I talk about on the show, I'm going to do the best I can to come from a platform and the foundation of the words that I'm saying, that I don't want to destroy my witness. Okay. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the LJeh Show on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Make sure you hit that notification bell on YouTube, and go ahead and leave a comment as well. And tell your friends. And if you missed the live stream at any time, you can always download the show on all the podcast platforms: Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Yeah, so let's get into this. Political strategists propose a different tactic. Now, I'm talking about the big switch that happened back in the 60s. Political strategists propose a different tactic to control minority voters, namely switching from intimidation to entitlement. So, switching from intimidation, well, you better not vote. You better not vote. You better not like those Republicans. You better not hang around those Republicans. You better, switching from intimidation to entitlement. What does that mean? In other words, instead suppressing the African-American vote through intimidation, the African-American vote could be controlled through permanent dependency on entitlement programs. Okay. Now, disclaimer, transparency. Me and my wife, in the past, we've used like a program here and there of like a government program. Okay. But our goal was to get off of it. That's our goal, was not to depend on it. Our goal was to get off of it very quickly. So, and that's my disclaimer with that. But I don't want people to say, well, LJeh, you act like you ain't never had nothing with it. What you do with your life? I get it. I know that's normally what people say, but all right. So according to Ronald Kessler's book, Inside the White House, Lyndon Johnson, who had a reputation of vulgarity in private conversations. So if you don't know, Lyndon Johnson said these words: "I'll have those N words voting Democrat for the next 200 years." Should I say the word? I said I don't want to destroy my witness. But N's. It starts with an N, okay? Okay, yeah. I don't know if I want to say that. I don't know yet. We'll see. He said, "I'll have those N's, those black folk, voting," but he didn't say that. He didn't say black folk. He didn't say African Americans because he's racist. He was racist. They're talking about Lyndon Johnson, talking about the man that took over for John F. Kennedy when he was assassinated as president. He said, "I'll have those ends voting Democrat for the next 200 years. That's what he said. And he was right. He was right. Unfortunately, he was right. Malcolm X said something too. He told us the right liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than a conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as a Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or as a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberal and the white conservative." That is y'all boy, Malcolm X. I think everybody's boy, right? In some way, he's not my boy religiously. Okay, nah, he as a man, I guess he was cool, but not religiously because I'm a Christian. I'm not a Muslim. So let's get into it. Cause I don't have a lot of time. I gotta be out here soon. Cause if you're a family man, you know how it is. Your family want all your time and then some. So I got to get home to the family. So let's get into this video on C.Q. Brown, 4-star General C.Q. Brown, Air Force 4-star General. He's a black general. Okay, so another disclaimer: I'm in the military. I'm an officer, and my goal is to make the highest rank I can make, right? As a black man, I would love that. And when I see other black men that are high-ranking officers, as an officer, I love to see that, right? I mean, but I have a different feeling towards it now. I have a different outlook and perspective towards it now. Now that I'm no longer a victim, okay, no longer victim-minded. Now that I'm a conservative, I have a little bit of a. No, not a little bit, a lot. A big change, like a 360 perspective towards that. It's like I don't look up to them. I do look up to them. I see that as, oh, that's good. That's good. It's a black guy up there. Because a lot of times, I guess it depends on what state, what unit you're in. But a lot of times, I'm the only black officer in the room. Okay, a lot of times I'm the only black officer in the room. But when you look at the totality and the fullness of the black population, anybody that's educated and got something going about themselves, like they're accountable, they're responsible, they hold them, they hold them values up that the people in society that's actually successful and and they're nice and they're financially clean and financially stable. I forgot what I was going at. Sometimes I can just rant. I forgot I was going with that. Oh, I was talking about the generals and everything. But when you look at the black population, like a lot of times you're going to be by yourself. You're going to be the only black person, especially when it comes to like you're trying to get up there to the top level, or you're trying to get more education in something. You're trying to fix your credit, go to the bank, or you find yourself in a classroom. You find yourself in a training environment or something. A lot of times we are by ourselves. That's because the black population we're at the bottom of everything. We're at the bottom of everything, especially when it comes to education. Okay, so and it's because of the victim mindset. It's because of the victim mindset, and we're gonna talk about Jamal Bryant today. I won't call him a pastor. I just can't do it. I can't call him a pastor. We'll talk about Jamal Bryant today. He is one of the biggest pushers of victimhood. One of the biggest pushers of victimhood. It is absolutely crazy. He's not a pastor. He's a hustler. He's a race hustling pimp. Somebody else called him a plant pastor. I guess he was planted there at that church. But if you look at what happened to the last pastor, that Bishop Eddie Long, if you read up what happened to him, you kind of like start asking yourself, okay, why did you choose Jamal after Bishop Eddie Long did all the stuff with the little boys and stuff? I don't know why you choose Jamal, but maybe the leadership is kind of, maybe they're leading people astray too in the beginning. So, I don't really know how that church works as far as leadership goes. I don't know if they have trustees, a deacon board, or eldership. I don't really know how that church works, but it doesn't work the way it needs to. That's why I'm praying for 2819 to get the space they need. Great church, man. I'm going to say this once I play the Jamal video. We really need to pray for the people in his church, man. Really need to pray for the people in his church, because they are believing lies. They are believing and following a false gospel. This guy is an apostate. He's preaching a false gospel. That's what he's doing. And so we really need to pray for them. I hope they leave that church and go to a better church like 2819. There's other churches in Atlanta. One church that I'm going to be at in March at the Pastor Summit, Turning Point Faith Pastor Summit. If you have not registered, get registered. I'll talk about that later. So let's get into this video regarding CQ Brown, Air Force General, 4-star.
What is going on? I feel like that's what people across, what is going on here? Just really, what is going on between CQ Brown, and I'm just going to say it, we need to ask the question, was CQ Brown fired because he was black? Because it's not that he's unqualified, right? It's not that he was confirmed by the Senate. And then when it comes to Ukraine, I just like, is Ronald Reagan rolling over in his grave right now? Where are the real Republicans in America? Where are the people that care about democracy? I am just, what?
Yeah, so you know when I said that Lyndon Johnson said he's going to have these N-words voting Republican until voting Republican for the next 100 years. He was right. Because that's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. I mean, that's so that's a victimhood, right? That's all about victimhood is what she's doing. That's all about victimhood. So CQ Brown, so before I play this next video, just actually tell you guys the truth about what actually happened with him. Okay. He was a 4-star general in the Air Force, like I said, but so Joy Reid I forgot about this. Joy Reid got fired today. Well, I think it was over the weekend. She got let go of her show. I call her Joyless Reid. And if you know me, if you heard the show before, I always call her Joyless Reid because that's what she is. She has no joy. Okay, her name is Joy, but she doesn't put out joy. There's nothing joyful about her. There's nothing joyful about telling lies for an hour and a half or 2 hours, however long her show is. It's just crazy. But Joy Reid got fired, and I'm not gonna come on here and rejoice because Joy Reid got fired. Okay, she got on Zoom, or I just seen her. She got on Zoom or some type of live stream or something. I'd seen her, and she just crying her eyes out because she's upset. She's just upset, and but when you live a lie, when you're living a lie and you're always telling lies, it's really hard to stay emotionally connected to the reality. So when the wall comes crashing down on you when you're living that lie, it's so emotional. You're just gonna be overwhelmed with emotion. That's what she's doing right now. She's overwhelmed with emotion, and I'm praying that she can, get some friends that's gonna tell her the truth. Okay, get some friends that's gonna tell her some things that she does not want to hear. Because to come on a show, this happened in November and Thanksgiving. To come on the show and say it's okay not to go around your family just because they voted for another guy, voted for another candidate in the presidential campaign. That is absolutely crazy. It's sad, really. It's sad, really, for her to do something like that. But she will get back on her feet. The way the media works now, it's YouTube channels get more views than cable TV. So she'll be fine. Okay. She'll be fine. So 4-star general, get back to 4-star general CQ Brown. So I also heard that he resigned. He didn't actually get fired. So I don't know what the truth is about that. But if Trump did fire him, this is why. Oh, let me get over here.
The leader of the Marxist woke movement in the United States military, when the George Floyd incident occurred, he lost his mind. I know him personally. I have a lot of former colleagues that know him personally, think of him very highly as a warrior, as an aviator, as a commander. But when the George Floyd incident happened, he lost his ever-loving mind and tied himself to the Marxist ideology that came out of the Black Lives Movement during that period of time. And then he implemented policies in the United States Air Force and now in all of the armed services as chairman of the Joint Chiefs to establish that ideology as the precedent way of thinking in everything. His most famous act was signing a memo along with former Secretary of the Air Force, Frank Kendall, who has a whole other bad actor history on his own, that said that there were too many white pilots in the United States Air Force and laid out goals for race and gender to meet in order for them to not be too many white pilots in the United States Air Force. And as you know, with all the discussion of aircraft crashes that we've had the last few weeks, especially, those types of jobs are the jobs that you must hire on a merit basis. The best, most highly qualified individuals are the ones you want flying your combat aircraft and leading your combat forces in battle on behalf of the American people so that we can win and not be fighting in wars all the time. So he took the exact opposite approach in everything he did and really laid out and built up a sound infrastructure to put this Marxism in place, and it's being torn down as we speak. And it was only a matter of time for him to go, and he needed to go. And so did the other generals that were fired Friday night. I think there were 5 or 6. Jim Slife, the Assistant Vice Chief of Staff of the Air Force, is known by his troops as the most woke DEI ideology Marxist inside the United States Air Force itself now. And I think he was probably in line to be the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, and he's gone. I know him personally. I know other folks, former colleagues that flew with him, and that they are all applauding that move. The 3 JAGs that were fired, the JAGs are the top legal advisor.
This is hearing the other names of people that got fired. I wonder, you have to wonder, right? You have to wonder, was any of them black? Any of them black? The JAGs, the other generals that he talked about, were any of them black? Because, if any other ones were black, why come Roland Martin and I would say Joyce Reed, but she's not on the air anymore. Simone Sanders, I think that's her name. The one on MSNBC, the one we just watched. How come they're not talking about those other generals? How come if it's unfair to fire this general because, wait a minute, let me back up. See, you see, that's what happens, right? Almost confused my own self. She said that he fired him because he's black. So there's no other reason that she put it on there. Because there's no other, she does not want to talk about the reason, right? She doesn't want to talk about the reason. She doesn't want to talk about it. She doesn't want to talk about the real reason he got fired. The reason why he got fired because the president of the United States put out a memo about DEI. Okay, DEI. And he was pushing DEI regulations upon the military. Let me tell you something. As a member of the military for 18 years, we do not need DEI programs. We have something called equal opportunity. We don't need DEI programs. Equal opportunity takes care of all the other necessities when it comes to being treated unfairly. We don't need DEI, okay? This was just something that Joe Biden put on that was unnecessary and wasted a lot of money. That's why we're taking back those programs and closing out those programs and getting rid of the people that wanted that stuff because it is wasteful spending, a waste of time, really. We don't need that. As a black man, as a black officer, I don't need DEI. All I need to do is pass my PT test, lose weight, make weight, go to school. You know, everything is lined up. It's how my career has been like that. That's how that's how it is. Okay, we don't need DEI. DEI was for the LGBTQ and for soldiers to get their surgeries paid for if they want to switch over to the next gender. I'm sorry, I had to put it out there. It is what it is. That's public information. That's what that was for. That's what it wasn't. It had nothing to do with my promotion. It had nothing to do with a Hispanics promotion. It had nothing to do with making sure we had enough black guys in the squad. Black guys. Now maybe the pilot thing, but. That's when it comes to education, you can have all the DEI programs you want when it comes to the African American community in the United States. That's the same. Yeah. When it comes to black people in the United States, the black population in the United States, when it comes to education, you're trying to do something. In my opinion, we have to come down on the parents harder. I've worked in a school district for 5 years. I work in a public school district for 5 years, and every time I was a school bus driver, and every time I tried to write a kid up, take the write up to the principal, say, hey, this kid is literally cussing me out when I tell him to sit down. Every time I tell him to sit down, he flips me off and cusses me out. Well, I don't want to, this is what the principal would say. Oh, well, I don't want to kick him off and, because I don't want to suspend him because he'll be on the street. We don't want him on the street. Well, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Like, really? Come on now. What are we talking about? Hold the parents accountable more. That's what we need to do because a lot of these kids, and I heard this from a board member, a school board member, a lot of these kids are being disruptive in the class, and principals don't want to take them out of the class, put them on the street, or suspend them, or really discipline them. So they're being disruptive in the class, and it's making it environment where you can't really learn. It's disrupting the learning environment. When the kids that are really there to learn, they can't really focus on learning because you got these kids doing everything under the sun, but learning, but focusing. They need to be out. Now, look, I know what that sounds like. It's like, LJeh, you're being too harsh on the kids. No, I'm not. Man, let me tell you something. Jesus Christ was about tough love. That's what he did. Hey, I'm gonna heal you. Now go sin no more. Hey, woman of Samaria, yes, you have 5 husbands, and the one you live with now is not your husband. But I love you anyway. Okay, so we have to do better as far as holding our parents accountable. We don't do that very well. We don't do that very well. But you have to fire. I'm sorry, and probably more than likely they had when it comes to CQ Brown, he probably had a meeting with Pete Hegseth, and Pete, Secretary Pete already came out and said, look, we're not doing DEI. It's not nothing we need. I'm telling you, we don't need it. As a member of the military for 18 years, we don't need it. We don't. All right, let's move on to something else. Move on to Jamal. I don't call this guy a pastor. I just don't do it. Okay, he's not. That's not what he is. So let me move on to Jamal. thing that he said about basically it's Jamal Bryant versus it's Jamal Bryant versus black conservatives. So black conservatives, they were invited to the White House and they went out and had a good time in the White House, like they was invited to do, right? Like they was invited to do. And where am I going here? Yeah. Doing everything by myself. Yeah. So they was invited to the White House and I had some friends there and then they had a good time and I think it was David Harris. He was doing a video, like a live video, okay, where you turn it in like a face, like a selfie video, like showing the whole room and everything. Somebody put up what's this little, like a picture of Jamal Bryant with a nose. I thought it had a clown nose on it, but when I first seen the video, but I guess it didn't. It just had his face on there. I guess they was saying, hey, we got Jamal Bryant I guess they was playing on the fact that he's in the White House and he don't want to be in the White House. He hates Trump. I thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. But before I play this video of Jamal talking about it, I do want to say that I don't know if Jamal threw the first punch or we threw the first punch. Now I say we because these are my people. These are my brothers and sisters. Okay, that was in the White House. And what Jamal has done, he has opened up himself to be, I'm trying to be nice. He about to get that work. Okay, that's what's about to happen. Okay, now he said he ain't backing down. Okay, let's see you get on a show. Let's see you get on the show, get a radio show. You in Atlanta. Shelley Winters is right there in Atlanta, Jamal. Now, let me play this video. Play this video, man.
But I ain't afraid of the spooks that sat at the door. These runaway slaves hiding in the White House gonna throw my picture up thinking that I'm gonna be afraid.
Well, he got one thing right. We are runaway slaves because runaway slaves is somebody that used to be a slave and they're running away. They're tired of being a slave. So, yes, we are runaway slaves, and you are still a slave, Jamal.
If you got real,
I feel like I need to get I wish I had. You know that movie, that Tyler Perry movie? I think it was All in, like, Family Reunion or something like that, where that girl was like, "Bye, Rain." I wish I could get something like that with Jamal. Like Jamal, wow. No, that don't sound good. I need to get something like that. I need to have my wife do that or something, so I can have that as a as a hit.
Carriage, don't show my picture. Show the picture of the one that fired the Black Joint Chief of Staffs from the military. If you gonna show a picture.
So what happens is you get a lot of, I don't know how many people's in this church, but this is New Birth. And I used to listen to New Birth's choir albums a lot, man. Like, I grew up past son. I used to listen to all the nice gospel albums. And I used to, like, Kevin Bond was behind a lot of the albums. And I really loved New Birth's choir albums. But I didn't understand what was actually going on as far as the theological teachings and everything with the church. And I didn't really, read the Bible that much. I just knew some verses and that was it. I really love what you see right here. This is emotionalism. This is all about emotionalism. There's no actual, sound biblical doctrine in anything he's saying. Now he's going to use a scripture of David. As though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. He's going to use that, but that's way out of context. It's all emotionalism, and it's really, if this is what happens, all these people that's out here screaming and hollering and screaming, "Yes, Lord, yes, say that." That's because they don't read the Bible for themselves. They don't read it for themselves. When you don't read the Bible for yourself, if you go to church, you cannot just let the pastor just tell you whatever the pastor is telling you, whatever he's preaching on. You need to go read it for yourself. This is what happens when you don't. You got all these people in here hollering and screaming because they have no idea. They don't care. No, they like to They like the heartstrings to be pulled. That's what they like. They don't like actual sound doctrine. Okay, they don't like that.
Show a picture of the CEO of Target, Walmart, McDonald's, and Amazon that does not recognize black dollars or black business. If you
don't recognize black dollars, how foolish is that? Like, really, you guys gonna really sit there and listen to this garbage and not leave the church? I think that you guys, I'm talking to everybody that's in the church. I think you guys are really smart. Have to be a lot smarter than that. Really, I don't. That's what the black money is in Atlanta. It's a lot of educated black people in Atlanta. It's some educated black people to go to his church. What in the world is going on? Like the McDonald's and Target and Walmart, they don't want black dollars. What kind of mess is that? What kind of foolishness is this dude talking about? Like, really? What kind of foolishness is this, man? This is just crazy.
Gonna put up a picture of the state legislators in Florida that are banning black books. If you gonna put up a picture,
the books have pornography in it. Come on, bro. Y'all have to research, man. I'm talking to the members of that church. Y'all got to research. What is okay? Are they actually banning books about just black history? Are they actually banning books about just black history? And if they are, what's in these books? What's in these books? I mean, come on, man. I mean, this is just when you're a victim all the time, and you love it, you just listen to this stuff and you just, oh, yes, thank you for saying that. Thank you. Come on, man. This is.
Put up the picture of the one who is stealing classified information from the IRS and Social Security. If you gonna put up a picture of those that don't want your mama to pay $35 for insulin and your child to pay $35 for inhaler. If you gonna put up a picture of those that are jailing children and separating families. I ain't ever scared. In case you forgot, I'm from the west side of Baltimore. If you got a problem, pull up on me.
Yeah, so you're talking about families. Like Jamal's talking about families, and he doesn't talk about the black family, which is the single motherhood is at an all-time high. All-time high. And what is it doing to us? What is it doing to us, Jamal? That's the type of stuff you need to talk about. You don't want to talk about that because I might lose some members. I'm sorry to say that. This guy's an apostate. False teaching, apostate, and I guess you want that work because you about to get it, Jamal. You about to get this work. Every black, black conservatives in the media, we got you. We got you, Jamal. You about to get this work. Now, let's see if you go on somebody's show. So a radio show, podcast, YouTube, whatever. Let's see if you go on a black conservative show. It could be it could be mine. I don't care. But let's see if you go on the people you actually know, like Brandon Tatum, Candace Owens, David Harris. You know, let's see if you actually go on Black Conservative Perspective. Let's see if you actually go on their shows. Shelley Winter's right there in Atlanta. Go on his show. I double dog dare you to get on his show. Now, look, like I said, I don't know who threw the first punch. You know, David, you know, or whoever. David Harris wasn't holding up the photo. It was somebody else, but I don't know who threw the first punch. But we're here now, and I guess you want that work. We'll give it to you. But here's the thing with these people, with these pastors like this, because there was some other guy, and I think it was like some other pastors that did the same thing. And all these pastors, they all Democrat lovers and everything. They hold Democrat politicians in there. They let Democrat politicians come in their church and quote unquote preach a sermon when they supposed to be preaching the word of God, but they let them have a political message. a political speech. It's just crazy. I don't know how the IRS puts up with it, but I think they pick and choose. But because they came after Bishop Wooden, but they didn't come after this dude when he had Kamala Harris in there. Ain't that crazy? And it is crazy. But what they do is they want you to stay a victim. The Bible does not support a victimhood mentality. The Bible does not support a victimhood mentality. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That was written by a guy that was in a Roman jail. Imagine you being in prison right now, like in McAlester, Oklahoma, or whatever state you're living in. There's a prison, there's a federal prison, there's a maximum facility. And imagine you having 4 walls that you look at the entire day. You got a toilet there, you got a sink, probably, but you got these 4 walls to look at all day. You got a cement floor, you got like a metal bed with like a 1-inch sheet, probably what it is for your bed. I think they got some more comfortable stuff than that, but imagine that's you. That's your life. You're in jail. It sucks, don't it? It is nothing compared to a Roman jail. It's just a hole in the ground. That's it. And they throw you in there. This man of God, this apostle, wrote that line, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And he said that because, and you look at the script, the verses before that, because I have learned from my life circumstances. The Bible does not support a victimhood mentality. Jamal Bryant is an apostate. He's all of the above, man. He's an apostate. He's a false teacher. You guys need to get out of his church. You need to get out of there. All right. Let's get on to federal does. I'll talk about Jamal Bryant all day. I can't call him a pastor. He's not one. The show email is the LJShow@gmail.com. The LJShow@gmail.com. Follow me on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram at the LJ Show. On YouTube, hit the like button, like and share all the shows. If you miss a show, miss a live stream, I'm going to live stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday nights. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights. If you miss a live stream, download the podcast. Share with your friends. Podcast platforms are Apple, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And I'm going to be on Rumble too. So I'll let you guys know when that pops off. All right, let's get on to the last story. Doe sends proof of work email to federal employees. Dang it, I thought I had a video for that. So basically, those sent an email to federal employees basically saying, show me the 5 things that you have done this week. Show me 5 things you have done this week. Okay, so let me see. Okay, yeah. I found a video. Let me play this.
Elon Musk has announced that all federal employees will shortly receive an email from the federal government seeking to get a detailed breakdown of all the work that they've done in the past week. And if the federal employees don't respond promptly, they will be forced to resign. So the post released just now on Elon Musk's social media account, he says, consistent with Donald Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. Now, it's unclear whether or not he can do this legally. I mean, Elon Musk, remember, is not a Doge employee, according to the federal government, but is allegedly now responsible for sending out this email to all these federal employees. If you're a federal employee and you receive this email, send it to me via email. My email is in my bio, so be sure to send it to me directly. I would love to see it, and I would love to report on it. Right now, we don't.
Yeah, so this is a guy. This is a guy on TikTok trying to help federal employees out. So I'm going to be honest. I'm always honest. So the motto of the show is Truth Addict. Okay, Truth Addict. The Bible says, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the light. Okay, so the motto of the show is Truth Addict. And we're going to have shirts, and cups and some merch here in a minute, in the next couple of weeks. So, if you want to become a truth addict, the slogan is gonna be, if you want to become a truth addict, like and subscribe and listen to the LJ Show. Okay, so going forth, you'll hear that. So I used to be a federal employee. Okay, I used to be a federal employee, and there's just a lot of wasted time. Okay, there's a lot of wasted time, a lot of wasted space. People are not doing what they say they're gonna do. Okay, I'm just gonna make a long story short. I just don't feel sorry for these people. I don't. Okay, so if you've done, so the email said, tell us 5, using bullet points. Tell us 5 things you did last week. 5 things that you did. And if you don't respond, it's going to be your resignation. If you don't respond. And I mean, gosh, what has happened? What has happened is the federal workforce has come to a point to where they just don't want to work. Why are you asking me to tell you what I did last week? You know, I work for the federal government. You know, I serve my country. Now, yes, you do. If you're a federal employee, yes, you do serve your country. You do. Okay, you're not in the private sector. You're working for the Air Force, Navy, Army. Okay, another agency, Department of Agriculture, Energy, Transportation, Post Office, Interior, something like that. So, yes, you are serving your country, but using our tax dollars. You're getting paid with our tax dollars, and we need to know what you're doing. These people don't want people to know what they're doing. I'm not talking about just them. I'm talking about the Democrats. Like, everybody's upset on Democrats. All the liberals are upset because don't tell anybody what we're doing. Don't tell anybody what we're doing. And that's what's happened to the federal employees right now that are upset about this. If I was still working right now, here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Those are my 5 things, Mr. Musk. And if they're not good enough for you, hey, I understand I'm getting fired. Or I understand that you want me to resign September 30th, because that's what's really going to happen. They're going to resign if they don't like what's going on, and they get paid up to September 30th. People aren't telling you guys that, but that's how it works. Yeah, so I would do it, and what's happening is people just don't want to. They don't want to be held accountable. They're federal employees, and they haven't been held accountable for so long. They've been allowed to just go off and do whatever they want. Okay, because the federal workforce this is how it is. I didn't like it, so I got out. I didn't like it. It wasn't for me. But yes, there's a lot of wasteful time and wasted energy, and it's a lot of bureaucracy. I'm telling you, you guys want to know. You guys want this. I'm telling you right now, you guys want this. You want this. You want Elon Musk to do exactly what he's doing right now. That's what you want. Okay, like I said before, I got to get out of here because the family is waiting on me at the house. But I love them. Love my girls. I got to get home and see my girls. Follow the LJ Show. Like and subscribe to the show on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Like and share the show on YouTube. I will be on Rumble soon. I'll let you guys know when that is popping off. Let me guys know what you think. Leave a comment. Share with your friends. This is the LJ Show. I am LJ Johnson, your host. I'll see you guys Wednesday.
It's the LJ Show.